Good morning, everyone. This is Miss Catalano here with the third part of her very successful video series. I want to go over what we reviewed yesterday before what we're starting today. So what we did yesterday is we learned about natural numbers, whole numbers, and integers. Natural numbers are any number that starts after 1, including 1 itself. So 1, 2, 3, 36, 158, 1,000, the square root of 16 because that's 4. Those are all natural numbers. Whole numbers include natural numbers, that's why it's inside the box, as well as the number 0. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 18, square root of 49, which is 7, 0, all whole numbers. Integers include whole numbers and natural numbers. That's why the boxes are inside the integer box, as well as negative numbers. So whole number 0, whole and natural number 1, whole and natural number 2, whole and natural number square root of 100, which is 10, as well as negative numbers. Negative 2, negative 365, negative 12. Those are all integers. What type of numbers are we missing in this case? Those are rational numbers. So a number that we're missing is a fraction. So rational numbers include fractions, as well as integers, whole numbers, and natural numbers. So some fractions that we have are 2 over 9, 1/2, 3/4, 12 over 8. These are all fractions. It also includes decimals. Not all decimals, but repeating and terminating. My R in repeating looks really bad. Okay, so a repeating number is something like 0.656565. What repeats is that 65. That is a part of a rational number. 656565. A terminating decimal is something like 0.75. It stops. It doesn't continue on into infinity. So another example of a repeating decimal might be 0.7777, etc. It goes on forever. That is a repeating decimal. Another example of a terminating decimal would be 3.2. It stops after the 2. So fractions, decimals that are repeating and terminating, integers, so -3. Actually, let me do this in the integers pen. -3, -365, -12. Those are also rational numbers. Whole numbers are also rational numbers, so 0 is a rational number, and also natural numbers, so 1, 3, 5, etc. So rational numbers include natural numbers, whole numbers, integers, fractions, and terminating, which means it stops, and repeating, which means the same number repeats, decimals. Okay, the last type of number that we're learning is called an irrational number. An irrational number includes non-repeating, non-terminating decimals. An example of that is our very beautiful friend pi. Pi is 3.14159, I think 2 something, and then it continues on and on. There's no pattern in the decimal places. It does not repeat, and it continues on and on and on forever. Pi is an example of an irrational number. Another example of an irrational number would be something that does not have a perfect square root, like the square root of 2. if we look at our calculator and you type in 2 and you take the square root of it, it continues on and on. 1.414213562 continues on and on forever with no pattern of repetition, and it does not stop. So, square root of 2, because it goes on forever and ever, is an example of an irrational number. Now, another irrational number can just be a number that you make up that can't be put as a fraction. So I'm going to do 2.18597364208, continue on and on forever. That number cannot be put as a fraction. That is why it's an irrational number. They cannot be put as a fraction. So they don't repeat, they don't stop, they continue on forever, and they cannot be put as a fraction. These are 3 of the many examples of irrational numbers that you can see. They are not whole numbers. They do not include the whole numbers. They do not include integers. They do not include natural numbers. This can be negative, but because it has the decimals on it, it wouldn't make it, or non-repeating, non-terminating decimals around it, it would not make it an integer. Just because this is a square root, because it doesn't give you a whole number, an even number, that's where it becomes an irrational number. It does not repeat. It does not terminate. All right, guys, if you have any questions on any of the numbers in the real number system, please feel free to email myself or Mr. Park. There is an assignment on Google Classroom where you have to figure out the differences between rational numbers and irrational numbers. Use this real number system video to help you fill that out. That sheet is to be turned in by the end of today at 11:59 p.m. Please do so and email us if you need any help. I hope to hear from you soon.